I've made a few videos about how it seems like the culture is really turning around and that I think the funding has run out for these woke products that are just terrible movies, terrible TV shows, and not selling. So somebody at Disney has told these people to get their acts together and actually like make a decent film for once, and we finally got one on Disney Plus. I think this is the only Disney Plus TV show, movie, special, whatever you want to call it, that I've actually watched that I was like, okay, I'm glad I actually watched that. The rest of them have been just slogs to get through as they've been trying to force this diversity on everything, and they've been sacrificing plot and character because of that. This was a lot of fun. Werewolf by Night, I didn't even know this was coming out. This is a really weird one because there was almost no talk about this from Disney. There was nothing on it. Maybe because it was good. I don't know. Maybe they try a little harder on the stuff like She-Hulk where there's not much to it. And so they got to try to get that advertising hype up there. But this was really fun, and I'm happy for it. I like to say it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday in California, my friends, and I want to be positive for once. So let's do this. My name is John Delarose. If you're new to the channel, I am a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. Hey, if you like the old school Werewolf by Night stuff, I think that my writing style really goes with those 70s comics and the 80s comics that you know and love. A lot this is a Marvel property that a lot of people have not paid a lot of attention to. Werewolf by Night as a comic, and I know my comics, guys, actually was where Moon Knight came from originally, but it had a lot of cool stuff to it. Jack Russell is a very cool character that, unfortunately in modern times, really, they haven't done a ton with. But back then it was awesome. You had just pure action adventure. You had a month-to-month intrigue as you follow these characters. And I'm trying to develop that here with Overmind. This is my 66-page science fiction graphic novel. And we have a novel to go along with it. I'm trying to push that like pulp mentality where there's a lot of content coming out, and I plan to use this character in the future for a lot of fun stories. So check this out. We've made over $40,000 on this comic and novel so far, so thank you so much for the huge support. Links in the description below. I've got I think 40 copies left of it from my print run that we just did. So grab those before I have to close this off. Thanks, guys. Cool. So I watched this last night. This is Werewolf by Night, the Marvel horror special. It's kind of like a Halloween sort of themed thing. And what they did is they actually created this like 1950s, 1960s style horror, stylized horror piece with it, where it's in black and white, and it's a bunch of monster hunters that get together. I guess spoilers if you guys care, that are going to get this bloodstone. Now, the bloodstone is something that happens in Marvel Comics, and so they're referencing a lot of that stuff. And the guy who had it died, and whoever kills a monster in this like trial by combat sort of thing is worthy successor who's going to get the bloodstone. So they all get together and do that, and a bunch of them are here together. One of them is Jack Russell. Now, the weird thing is Jack Russell is played by a Mexican guy, and he's got an accent. And they just call him Jack in the film, so maybe he's not. Maybe he's Jack Gonzalez. I don't know. Is Jack short for Juan now? Which is just kind of weird because again, Jack Russell's like that's a very Irish thing, and it's just kind of a miscasting on that level. That said, he did a good job, and I really liked him as a lead actor through this entire movie. And other than having a Mexican guy be Jack, which was kind of weird, he did a fantastic job. So he's out there. There's a gal, of course, who's a strong female lead. We got to have one of those in every single film now. And they kind of end up working together to stop kind of the bad guys through this. Now, it's really interesting sort of world building they set up through all of this also, where the Bloodstone people who are controlling all this are actually like a group of monster hunters. And so they're actually trying to protect the world from monsters, but in that they've kind of become monsters themselves, as you can see through this whole gory, bloody interchange that they deal with. And they actually don't concern themselves about the individuals because they're too caught up in their whole monster hunting past. Very interesting, cool world building. I actually thought they did a really good job with that. Honestly, this movie was just fun. It was super campy because they went for that 60s vibe with things. They did kind of add in that Kill Bill campy gore to it too. So it's not like you won't go full Hitchcock with it. You'll get like a little bit of Hitchcock vibe, but they'll actually show like, people getting their heads cut off and things like that, which Hitchcock would have just implied it because they obviously have that little Tarantino influence in there also. And it's short. It's like 54 minutes, which is perfect because my attention span doesn't last longer than that, especially for something like this. And it was just really well done all the way around. So the monster hunt goes around. There's a couple twists and turns over this. And then it ends up where, of course, you see the Bloodstones, the only part with color. Very cool. I really like the whole aesthetic of what they did with this entire setup right here. Of course, the Jack Russell Werewolf by Night wins in the end. And the big twist is the monster they're hunting, which you assume is going to be Werewolf by Night at the beginning of it, is actually the Man-Thing. And so they've really incorporated a lot of the Marvel horror monster stories in here. Man-Thing was a very interesting character created by Steve Gerber in the 70s also. So they're tying all of that together and just made a brilliant thing. What really is great about this, my friends, is actually the fact that so many of the Disney Plus shows just seem like they are references for the next movie or whatever. Like they're just trying to like, this is your reference of Wanda so that you can watch her in Doctor Strange, so you can watch this and this. And it seems like they try really hard to make those references go together, and they sacrifice plot. They sacrifice things that are interesting for that. This one doesn't have that. You're kind of, I mean, you got a couple Marvel references. So if you know the Marvel stuff, you'll be like, I know what that is. If you don't, though, this is just a fun, campy horror film for Halloween that works pretty well. The violence is, like I said, pretty gruesome in spots like Tarantino, so I wouldn't allow your, 10-year-old to watch it or anything like that. But, if somebody's, 13, 14, whatever, and, on the mature side, they can handle that. And there's nothing weird about it other than the, of course, over-the-top Tarantino-style violence. A couple swearing points, not a lot of that either. And that is my review of this. Cool. I hope you enjoyed it. I like having something nice for once. Thank you very much. Another thing that popped up on Disney Plus, which is awesome now, is actually the 1957 Zorro TV show. And I'm very excited for that. I'm going to be binge watching that because that is some of the best stuff ever created. And I love it. And I've been waiting for it to show up on there for a long time. All right, leave me a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button, my friends. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys being there. And, of course, don't forget to check out Overmind. And actually, all my other comics are on here, too. So I've got, the Cosmic Warrior if you're looking for, a strong male lead sort of setup. I've got Flying Sparks if you're looking for something a little bit different. That's, kind of more like the Bat family. Dynamite Thor is more of a parody. Deus Volt, whoops, I just messed that, is a fantasy. I don't really have any horror stuff. Spectacular Comics has a little horror in it. This is my short story stuff. But for the most part, I just don't write horror very much. But that's it. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. See you.